not stop. I hope you're all having a great Sunday evening. So, hi, my name is Shelly. If you have not been here, and I've been really sick. They're checking me for fungal meningitis, but they're always checking me for something, and I probably don't have it. But I am on medications just in case, and I go to the doctor tomorrow. But I think I just caught something from the nurses, and so, there's people being in and out of the house and stuff, so who knows. But anyway, I want to say yesterday, my new friend Erin and her daughter, I think, I always forget her name, but it's Sophia, and she's so cute. Oh, she was so adorable, and I was feeling so horrible yesterday, and she came and knocked on my door, little Sophia did, and she brought me this little bag, and with all this bright, colorful paper, because we all know I love color, and it was just so cute, and they put some little gifts in there for me, and she brought me this little pumpkin with the little light eyes. It was so cute. So I thought, well, I'm going to bring a friend with me, and here he is. I'm calling him a him, but here he is with me. So I'm sure, I know my grandkids love Halloween, so it'll be interesting to see what they choose this year. But so anyway, I'm not going to be too political, but I'm going to be honest, as I always am. But first, I want to give an invitation to sweet Erin and her sweet daughter to come and sit here with me maybe next week. And there, I'm putting them there. And she could tell a story about herself. I'm not going to say what, that's up to her. But anyway, I would love to have her on here with me. It'd be so great. So here's the invitation for you, Erin, and Sophia too. So if you guys would like to come join me next week, that would be so awesome. And we still have Alan coming. We got things a little messed up. And I got a little depressed for a minute from just being sick a lot this year and just being tired of being sick. And I just been losing a lot of weight and can't seem to keep it on. It's still coming off me, and I like to weigh in a little more, so that was good for me. But it'll all work itself out. And so, like I said, this podcast is about neurological diseases, how they affect us, and of course we all know I have multiple sclerosis and Parkinson's disease. So I had a double whammy, hopefully not a home run, not a 3. But anyway, so I was kind of down and out last week. I just felt kind of beat down, which that's rarely me. That's rarely me. Rarely do I ever get to the point that I'm depressed or I feel beat down and I feel just, I'm not going to pronounce it right, but frustrated. There, I got it right, Mom. Anyway, We work on that word. She does with me sometimes. And so anyway, and then I have to say, then Charlie Kirk being murdered for something that he loved and he loved doing. And I could relate to him and his wife so much because I'm faith-based too. I've been faith-based my entire life, and I always have believed. It made me stronger in my mind, even when my body is so broken, but my mind has always been so strong. And so I really related to him, and just that he was so young, and no matter what your views are, it doesn't matter. You don't have to agree. We all have our own thoughts, and we all deal with things differently. Like, even in my MS group, every one of us dealt with it differently, and we looked at our life's goals differently, totally differently. And I always felt they see me less sick because I never got down. I just, like, whatever it was. And I just related on just common sense values. I believe in those values. I do. I'm not going to deny that. But I'm not going to push them on you. But if you ask me about them, I will. I'll say I've always loved God since I was born, pretty much. I've always believed in Him. And I absolutely know I would not be here 38 years of multiple sclerosis without my unbreakable faith in God. So I just, that's all I'm going to say really about that. But I'm just going to say it was so heartbreaking that they tried to silence him just because they didn't agree. And it's just, so that's what made me mad enough that I said, you know what, I'm going to get back up, even though I feel really terrible today. I have no makeup, my hair is not fixed or anything. It is what it is. And I am not going to quit. Charlie Kirk, he started from the bottom. He never quit. And I'm not going to either. And I decided for this podcast, always before, it's been in honor of my son Christopher that passed for not, shouldn't have, but it's somebody else, but anyway, and it's still in honor of Christopher, but also today it's in honor of Charlie Kirk. I love watching him, and he's a great motivator for me, and he never quit, so I'm not either. And that's why I'm back. And I ask you all, please, when you watch my video, so I can grow this channel, if you please share it. Because every person that you share it with, they'll share it with someone else, and they may be going through a neurological disease, and maybe they're really needing some support and help, and I'm there to help them. And I just beg you to please share my video. I beg my family and my friends to please help me out, because I'm not a person that anybody knew or ever seen until 11 weeks ago. And so it's not like I had any fan base or anything. And like I've talked about, all my MS friends are gone now. I have a new one. Well, new three now. I think it's three, and I love it. I love it. I love that so much. There's just been so much loss with all the people that were in my group. So it's so great to meet some new people. Anyway, I forgot. The Parkinson's dementia has been kicking in a little bit. So I talked to my doctor, my specialist, about it on Thursday, and it does not act in the same way that Alzheimer's does, because Alzheimer's is a disease of the brain. Completely attacks your brain until basically, there's nothing left. But with Parkinson's dementia, it is not a disease of the brain. It's a neurological disease that does attack the brain. For some people, it can get really bad, but for most people, it doesn't. For me, the last couple of weeks, it's just been spotty. Like sometimes I'll do really good for like a whole day, and then I just start forgetting stuff. But they say, don't give me the answer. If I can't come up with what I was talking about, just let it go. Or if I figure it out or it dawns on me a day later, that's great. But to keep my brain thinking. So while I was sick yesterday, and I literally stayed up till 4 o'clock in the morning on steroids, because they really keep me up so bad, and I'm on a lot of steroids right now. So I was looking through the channels, and I seen Bible quizzes out of King James Version. And I was like, wow, let's check this out. So I said, hey, Billy, you want to play me? See who gets the most right, And I go, with this Parkinson stuff, I have no idea what I'm going to remember. And so we end up playing 3 rounds because I have that gotta win spirit. Go, Shelly, go. You gotta win. I won't quit until I do. And so the first round I won. The second round I didn't win. And then the third round I crushed him. I crushed him pretty good. So anyway, my brother calls me today. He's going to come over and visit him and his friend. But I wasn't feeling well. But of course, he was still invited to come. Of course, my brother could come and see me anytime he wants. But he ran out of time. So anyway, I was talking to him on the phone while he was on the way home, which he has hands-free, in his truck, just to say that. But anyway, so I told him, about these Bible quizzes. I go, hey, brother, let me give you 4 or 5 questions right now. They're the easiest questions in the Bible about Jesus. The easiest. And so, anyway, he did really good. Actually, the easiest questions are the ones that get you. I think him and I missed 2 maybe out of 5. I can't remember. But it was super fun doing it with him. I can't wait to do it with him again on the really hard questions. But anyway, it was super fun. It's on YouTube. And can you remember what the name of that is? It's so good. It's just so good for your mind if you believe in God. It's especially if you're having MS, fog brain, and it's called Bible Questions. And they have true and false, or you pick from 4 different answers. And some of them are very hard, unless you really read the Bible really well, which I have. But some of those questions, I couldn't believe I didn't get them right, because they're very precise, and it's like, my producer was giving me a message, but there's 3 levels to it. But anyway, if you believe in God and you have faith, it's really good for your mind to think, and plus you only get 10 seconds per question to answer it. So you either know it or you don't, because 10 seconds is not much. And they have easy, medium, and hard. So anyway, it's just something you believe in God. Just really good for your brain skills and your brain strength and thinking. Super good for that. With anyone that has a neurological disease, it's so good for your brain. So, and I'm sure if you're not into that, there's probably other quizzes that you may be interested in, such as I like football, I like NASCAR. I'm interested in a lot of different things. And so, I've been trying to finish my cousin's painting, her mermaid painting, and that has been the hardest painting for me because I think I did do one mermaid a long time ago, but I can't remember, but it was for a kid. And like for my cousin, I love her so much, and I just want it to be perfect. And it's not coming out perfect. And of course, we all know I'm not a professional, but I just want it to be the best for her because I love her so much. But anyway, I'm getting it done. I will get it done hopefully this week. But I changed her all up for like the 4th time. So I think she's looking better now. But anyway, so it's very important to, I know it's really hard sometimes to keep doing things that we like, and it's easy getting caught up in TV, sometimes negative TV, and I just found myself kind of caught up in that too a little bit, and realized I need to pull away, and that's when I started doing the Bible verses, which is TV, but it was different. So anyway, it's just my thing is any neurological disease, or if you're getting old like me, it's so good to keep your brain going and testing it, whether it's painting, whether it's sitting here and I have no script and I'm trying to remember what I was going to say from 2 weeks ago, and it's a test. And so if I fumble a bit, it's testing my own courage that I'm not feeling well. Not that this year I've ever really felt well. I mean, seriously. And that our courage, your faith, whatever you believe that will get you up to go do whatever it is, anything, because I know it's hard, believe me, I do, but you feel so much better if you do something, anything, it doesn't matter. And even this week, while I was sick, I don't cook normally, my caregivers cook, but my cook was gone this week, and so I made a lasagna. I haven't done that in years. I've not made a lasagna, and it turned out really good, actually. So then I thought, oh, I'm doing good. I'm going to make a pecan pie. That, not so good. I mean, it tastes good, but the texture is pretty bad, you know. I remember I just used to make those so easily. It took me like over 2 hours to do that, and like 3 hours total to do the lasagna by myself. Because it's just, hard doing all that in a wheelchair. It's very hard. And um, my producer's saying they're both delicious, so I guess I win. But what I'm saying is, it's so easy to get down. And sometimes when you have one thing after another that's jumping on you, and you seem like, I think this has been my worst year. I honestly do. Well, I know it has. That I've had in a I've had very hard times, but I never had it where it keeps coming at me. Like I'm constantly battling something different. And it's like to the point, I'm afraid to go to sleep at night because the next morning I don't know what I'm going to wake up with or not, or what's not going to work in my body. And it can be scary for anybody, and especially if you're newly diagnosed and you have no idea, and then you get these weird symptoms, and especially before you get diagnosed. I remember that for me, before I got diagnosed, I was sitting in the back of my grandma's yard, and I was just crying my eyes out. And my grandmother, she was so sweet, and she's like, "What's wrong, Shelly?" And I was so young that I had no clue. It was right after I had my baby, and which I've talked about some, but I couldn't even really care for him. I was having just a horrific time. And, at first we were kind of thinking baby blues, those kinds of things, hormone changes, whatever. But, I had no balance. I was having vision problems, speech problems, a whole host of symptoms at one time, about pretty much right after I had them. They really began hard on me. And so, anyway, to all of you that are getting newly diagnosed with whatever neurological disease, in some ways, I think that's the hardest part. Because with neurological diseases, you have no idea what's going to happen. It's like playing poker every morning and seeing if you're going to get a good hand, an okay hand, or a totally crappy hand that you'd like to throw back and redo, or go back to sleep and re-wake up, But I say, the more you push on, honestly, I don't care what you have. Mind over matter. Mind over matter. And another thing that was really hard for me is, and a lot of us that are at home all the time, we live in a bubble, and it's however you create your bubble, who you allow in your bubble, and as you get deeper, I've noticed, into the neurological diseases, you are more cut off from outside world. You're just dependent on your caregivers, and which I love all of them. They're great. They're so good to me. They're very sweet and caring, and it's 100% about me, and I just love that. It helps so much. But so if anyone says or does or anything happens that's negative, I think it affects us more because I live, like I say, away from my family. And, you know, like, sometimes you feel forgotten. And it's like, sometimes they don't call you. They don't call you for a year. Or they just quit calling you. Like, I'm still here. I am still here. I have the most wonderful family in the world. And we all understand, you know, people have to work hard to make a living. Or they're sick. Like, my mom and dad are elderly and all that, but you still feel a little left out sometimes. And, you know, when people stop calling you, it's really hurtful. It really is. And I don't say anything to anyone about that. This is probably the first time I've ever spoke about. Maybe you do not notice, but a person that's at home all the time, that's totally dependent on someone to take care of them, but my mind is still here, that you're just forgotten about. Like, they'll call you for a while, but then life happens. I get it. I understand. And you get busy, and there's certain people in my life that I can always count on, that they're never going to stop calling me. And they never have. And they always check on me. And if they don't call me, they text me. And my friend Dixie this week, and my parents, I knew I was really upset, you know, about Charlie Kirk, and that I was sick and I wasn't feeling well. And this reached out to me a lot more. And then my father, this man, like, he's 85 years old. He's a little too thin. Character, oh, that man has more character, and I think I get some of my character from him and some from my mom. But I called him. I can't remember if he called me or I called him, but we're always talking back and forth. But anyway, I'm like, what are you doing? He goes, I'm outside with the saw, electric saw. I think it's electric or gas. I don't know what you call those saws. A chainsaw. That's it. And so, anyway, he's outside in the heat. He's 85. Yeah, I just told your age, Dad. So, but I love you, though. But anyway, he's out there sawing down. I didn't even ask him what. I just told him, I asked him, is Mom home? And he's like, no. And I said, please call me when you're done so I can make sure that you're okay and you're not like bleeding out or something, you know. It's like, but you know what, in that moment it made me realize, get up, Shelly, get up, get motivated. If your 85-year-old father can go out there in the heat with the chainsaw, and he's loving it and hating it probably at the same time, but you know what? He never gives up. My mom either. Never. Those two people never give up. And I'm like, you know, I can't either. They won't let me. They might let me for a little while, but they're not going to let me for that long. But anyway, I hope I gave you a little more insight to me. And not everything I say do I want you to agree with. We're all our own people. And on this podcast, every week I do like to make it about MS and Parkinson's and how we get through that. But I do also like to add, a few little other things in our life, because we literally cannot live our neurological disease 24/7. We got to talk about something else besides that sometimes. And so anytime I get a chance to talk about something else, I'll do it. And I also want to say thank you to my sweet little beautiful friend Letitia. She really gave me a lot of strength to get back on here. I didn't tell very many people that I thought about quitting, that I was just gonna quit. But she's amazing. I love her. I've known her since the day she was born. And just love you, Letitia, and thank you for being a cheerleader for me. You really are. And I love you, and I hope you had a wonderful Sunday. And my whole family and all my friends and all my new friends, I love all of you, and I hope you have a wonderful week. And call me anytime. What was that Blondie song called? Call me anytime. So I'm here. So, use that word like a submarine. What is it?